Welcome back on to some national news now. Well, as Bihar votes in the 6th and the final phase of the assembly elections, the Naxals have struck once again. A can bomb planted below a culvert exploded while being defused. One constable of the bomb disposal squad and one home guard have been killed. 7 people, including 2 media persons, have been injured. 18 out of the 26 constituencies that went to the polls today are Maoist affected. And well, even as the BJP core committee takes time in Delhi to decide its final stance on State and Chief Minister Yediyurappa, the opposition in Karnataka is stepping up its demand for his resignation. Janata Dal State President and former Chief Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy levelled fresh charges against Yediyurappa's family, saying they had received money from firms in lieu of granting mining leases to private companies in the state. Meanwhile, Yediyurappa has said that in Hubli that he will not resign at any cost. Well, another tiger carcass has been found on the banks of the Brahmaputra in the Kaziranga's Agartali range. Since February, 5 tigers have died in this park, 3 of them this week itself. Authorities have consistently maintained that these are either due to natural causes or in fighting. But the Forest Department has not revealed the exact nature of death in any of these cases. In fact, in the last 2 deaths, they even kept the media out of bounds. And while free drinks are a dream that most tipplers nurture, and in Jaipur today it came true for countless people. After a truck loaded with high-quality beer overturned on Jaipur's JLN Marg and bottles of beer were spread all over the street. Many passers-by quenched their thirst for free booze, while some began drinking the beer on the road itself. Others loaded the booze into their scooters and cars. The truck was loaded with a beer worth several lakhs, but half of it was looted within minutes. After the police arrived on the scene, the beer was taken into police custody, but by then many tipplers had already enjoyed a big bash with a free beer. While the English Premier League club Blackburn Rovers has become the first football club to be wholly owned by an Indian company after Pune-based Venky's completed a 160 crore rupee takeover. A trust set up by the late Jack Walker, who owned the club in the 1990s, has sold the 99.9% holding to the newly formed company Venky's London Limited. Well, moving on, in a rare appeal, Christian groups have sought legislation to protect and manage the assets of the church. This move comes in the wake of reports of corruption by clergymen. Our reporter Krishnamurthy has more details.
The recent corruption row which hit the Archdiocese of Chennai over mismanagement of church property and funds has led to calls among Christians for a law to protect church assets in India.
Corruption has come in a full way. Because of that, today Christianity has lost its spiritual strength, spiritual values. You know, we had people like Mother Teresa who symbolize the greatest of values of Christianity. Whereas these people have totally given up the values. They are only interested in making money, selling the property. So people have been trying to stop it to the extent possible. Even we have been struggling. Under the general law, it's becoming very difficult. Unless we have a specific law laid down very clearly how property should be administered, governed, how accounts have to be shown, how transparent should be, all this Christian property will be wiped out in a very short way.
The properties of Hindu temples are governed by the Hindu Endowment Act, Muslim properties by the Waqf Board Act, and Sikh assets by Gurudwara Prabandhak Act. The Christians want a similar act to stamp out corruption in the Catholic Church.
If the law comes in operation, the illegal acts that have been committed by the clergy who are responsible for that will be stopped. The reason is there would be a commissioner or a person to look into the accountability of those assets and properties.
The Joint Christian Action Council says it is planning to send a resolution to Chief Minister Karunanidhi and Prime Minister Manmohan Singh in support of a law. In Chennai with Krishnamurthy, Jay Santosh for NDTV Hindu.
Well, still ahead, while we lose Super Saina, the Hyderabad Hurricane keeps India's hopes alive at the Asian Games.